All right. With that, let's be live. All right. I think finally we're back. Okay. Let me grab this for a second. All right. We'll bring this out, let it load for a second, and then we are going to do what we got to do. But now I have to kind of keep my eye out while we play this. All right. Like that, paste that. Hmm. For some reason, the chat doesn't want to pop up anymore, which angers me a bit because I just got that fixed. Yeah, I have another plan then. We are going to remove it and get it out of here. No, still. Zamos, how you doing? No worries. I've been having some stream issues for the past couple days. Uh, Let me know. Does the stream seem all right? Because like when I streamed on YouTube to just see the comparison, it's flawless. But on YouTube, I had some dropped frames, so things were kind of lagging, cutting out. But the good news is we got the chat working again. It's going one step at a time. Can't stay for long, sadly. No worries. I hope you have a great day regardless. The progress is going pretty well. We've been halted for a while. I've had a pretty busy week. So we kind of stopped here. I don't know if you were here for this part. I actually don't know when we added this little ground thing. We'll remove that. But we are looking to get back to it and then possibly play a game tonight. So we'll do some map building for a couple hours, and then I think I'm going to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 for the first time. We can have some fun with that. Looks good to you? Alright, perfect. Yeah, I streamed multiple, like every night for the last 3 nights I tried streaming, and it has just gone to shit. So I was pretty sad with that. Kind of had to regress before we progress. But if we're back, then we are back, and that is all that matters. All right, I want to somewhat. Let's crop the stream. You made your own tabletop system today. That sounds awesome. What'd you do? Let's see. I want to make the chat kind of right here. There we go. Or at least a base that's still very broken. Balancing is something that's just done through experience. It feels pretty impossible to get it down at the start. So don't feel too bad at that at all. It is very, very difficult. Made a system for a Mad Max style vehicle combat. That is really cool. I've never actually watched the Mad Max movies, but I've seen all the YouTube clips that went on. But the vehicles can kind of be incorporated anywhere, too. Like even in any tabletop RPG, as long as you have like a combat system for vehicles, because you can just replace the cars for carriages, and that could look really, really cool. All right. Our goal today is to make the terrain look way nicer. I'm gonna have to put mountains, cliffs, and forests and trees and all sorts of stuff to help give it some rhythm. Let's start with trees. Alright. Every world has to have a world tree. It is the best part. The question is, which tree asset do we want to use? So this is option 1. I don't quite like the hue. Let's just do it like that. Players assemble their own battle cards and use them to compete in a special tournament format. It basically exists as a minigame in my main campaign, so I won't know how much use I get out of it. You know, so the one bad part, or not bad part, but hard part, when you make like homebrew mechanics and stuff is that if it doesn't get used as much, you might be worried that like, oh, I spent all this time doing this and it kind of felt wasted. The best thing is that like, if you've planned that out and you've drawn out the schematics of like how it operates and the mechanics of it, you can just save that and use it for all campaigns in the future. So it's never really wasted. It's actually time, effort, like not effort, but like, no, I guess effort. Effort becomes less demanding as you keep going because you've already done the hard parts of designing every little thing. So that's why more experience is really good. It's not because you know more. It's actually just because you've designed more systems to help you where you wouldn't have to design them. So if you don't get a lot of it out of it right now, trust me, there will come a time in your campaign where that mechanic will be perfect and you'll be like, oh, I have just the thing for this. All right. We have 3 world tree assets to use. Yes, 3 of them. So we got to decide which one we like the most. I don't think it was wasted time. It was fun as hell, funny as hell, and fun. I'm gonna assume funny and fun. Yeah, they're really nice. I've made my own mechanics before, just not a whole separate system. I had only probably 2 or 3 times where there was like a carriage being used. It is a niche situation, but it does make for some really dramatic moments. I guess, well, as a player, I've had like a train robbery mission before, but that never really got too difficult. We were quick to get on the train. Okay. Let's start placing our forests. You can place forest here. Place one out here. We can make this entire area forest. And then we can have it reflect off the trees and see which tree we like more. And this can be mainly where like all the nature elves can be. Yeah. Let's see. I like the bottom right tree. It's angular and twisty. It is very twisty in a nice way. I'm gonna have to, so the way to do this is actually, let me grab these and these particular ones. I make their axis higher. There we go. Let me just delete these actually. Grab this with a higher axis and then we will essentially draw it like this so it looks like it's branching out. And then we can grab this asset that you like. And we're going to change the color scheme. So let's make it. What are our options? We could go with like the typical green lit up tree. But I mean, you kind of see that everywhere. I do have an idea that because it's next to this darker area, we can give it kind of maybe a purple tree. Ooh, blue and purple here kind of looks nice. Can increase that saturation. Brightness, we can... That's too bright. But I kind of like this. And then increase the contrast just a little bit. Maybe that could look kind of nice. This is kind of almost like a fey-like tree. So it could definitely be like a fey forest. Maybe this will be our move. Let me get rid of this one. Which means perhaps we can even color these trees to look different. Oh yeah, absolutely. We can kind of make them like this, like purple and blue. Crystal tree that reflects thousands of places from all around the plane in its shiny glassy surface. That could be actually a cool concept. It's like more of a crystallized. Okay. Let's grab this, let's put it here, and then we're gonna grab these. I'm gonna copy this. Right. We're gonna lower its size. No, I actually want to raise that a little more. Okay. These ones are just kind of going to be all over, so we're just gonna draw them in pieces and patches. And then we're going to go for the blue. Kind of fill the rest of the spots. And our goal is to make, once again, those trees that have a higher axis than the big one. Okay, so let's grab this. We'll put it at like 4. We'll draw it in like segments like that, and then a little bit. And then we'll go for blue. Same thing. All right. We can kind of bring this out, make it a little bigger, right there. All right. I think we got a nice little one right here. I wish you luck because I will sleep now. No worries. Have a good night's rest. Zamos, take care. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad the stream's now working, so hopefully we will be a lot more active now. Take it easy. All right. Let's continue in. Let's put these over here, and then let's grab the normal ones that are giving it that like 1. And then we could just populate this a little more. Other than that though, I think we got this section down at least. Okay. I'm gonna have to make the rivers bigger, especially with okay, not like that. Hold up. Nope, wrong one. Water. All right. We are still looking good. So let's go back to the water. Oh, the size doesn't matter, the color. Okay. And, oh, I forgot we could do it like this if we want to make the river jagged. Okay, so let's draw over it first. Okay, in that case then, I think the jagged edge could actually be kind of nice. So from here, we're gonna make it really small and then draw in, and it'll create these little jagged edges at times. We can open this one up. Okay, that is actually ruining things. Different idea. We have a different plan. We're lowering the size. Increase the hue, saturation, brightness. Okay. We're just gonna cover up this river for now and then essentially almost restart. Okay. Let's go back to our water. Got that jagged edge. Then let's do our drawings. There we go. The question is, does it look better than smooth rivers? So have jagged rivers or smooth? I think I kind of like the jagged look. So if I theoretically applied it to all of it, let's see how that would look. All right. Good evening, and man, this is early for you. Relatively speaking to when we usually streamed, yeah. I spent like the last 3 days banging my head on the ceiling because I was trying to get the stream to work. I was having some dropped frame rate issues, so it was just kind of lagging on YouTube and pausing the stream a lot. So I think I finally got it to work. So now I am very excited. Let's subtract this. So we're gonna see if we like this more. Yeah, I think having the jagged rivers are overall better. But how you doing, Keith? Our plan today is we're going to spend a couple hours doing the map, and then for the longest time, I've never played Knights of the Old Republic 2, so I might start that up tonight. See how that'll be. Our plan for tonight is to, or today rather, it's not night. But we are looking to essentially just fill the map with different areas of terrain and forest and terrain. So we want to put our mountains and our forest in places. We very quickly kind of made a world tree and kind of almost like this night forest. So that's one thing we did very quickly. And we will see the rest. We're going to go ahead and copy this as our main waterfall. Go ahead and increase that access. Possibly tilt it a little. There we go. However, I do want this to have a higher access. So we grab this, go to 4. Grab the mountain and go to 3. And this should have... There we go. Cool. Kaiju, welcome. Happy to see you both here. The stream is finally working again. We are back and in business. Now, I am essentially upscaling all the details on the map, by the way, for the most part. So that resolution could look a bit better for it. So I made the rivers a bit bigger here. I'm going to have to make these buildings... Actually, these buildings are pretty much fine. And then I forgot. This whole time I forgot that I can change the shape for rivers. I can... Rivers and lakes, I can give them a more of a jagged look. I think I might make the ocean a little darker, by the way, to contrast with the rivers. I was actually thinking about that a little earlier. Let's grab a nice watercolor. Could grab this one. Could we change the color to be a bit darker blue? No. Let's find a different one. These already have waves. We could just try this one. Let's see if this looks good. We will test it. That is purple. That is not blue. That is blue. Let's see though. Let's also take out the waves. And then as far as like this pool of water, if we played around with that, we're gonna keep playing with different waters. Kind of want to go for like a nice ocean blue. What about this one? Ooh, nah, I don't like the splatter it has. If I lower the size, yeah, no, that one won't work. Purple waters have been corrupted. That could be a nice one. I tried before to put like different water types, like colorations of waters. I think I did it on... Which map did I do it on? Let me see. Oh yeah, I tried it on this map that I made because as you can see, like the water over here was different, and then also the water over here and here and such. And over here. It kind of worked because this had land splitting it. So, actually, I think I might do something like that look. And I believe that was a cataloged one. Or one we used somewhere here. And we could try this. Let's change the color. The only issue with this is it's a little more of like a swimming pool. It's very glassy. I'm not really a fan of this. So there's the other one. Not this one, I believe. I think with this one, last time I messed with the size of it. It's gonna make it maxed. So if we theoretically do this, and then we go to the waves and put the waves over it, do you guys think that looks nice for the ocean? Let's see what you guys think. If I was to, it's very easy to redo it, so let's just throw it out everywhere. Okay. I forgot about background foreground, so I could just draw this over the whole map and then come to the water waves. All right, do you guys think this looks better as far as our ocean? Might be like over here it's too dark is my only issue. This water could just very well be too dark to use. But if we go to the normal assets, could also do that. It's a little more frozen. Ooh. Okay, I think I like this, actually. I think if we grab this, but we make the size just a little smaller. Oh, the only thing I didn't want to quite do is mess with this area. But then this kind of starts to look like ice, doesn't it? So I guess it always has to be a brighter color. Okay. This looks pretty bright. This looks good. Do you guys think any of these options is better than the original, or we stick with the original? We could probably just stick with the original. There's gonna be a lot of undoing. Original looks best, yeah. I think we just chill with the original. And at the same time, we don't want to lose Cathead. Cathead is pretty iconic. Alright. In that case, let us continue making our hills and mountains and forests. So, ideally, this gets upscaled as well. Move this here. Let's delete. I don't know why there's so many walls here. I don't know what we did. Oh yeah, actually we kind of want the walls to be a bit smaller. Let's do kind of a blend like that. And then we are simply moving these houses just a little bit around. Let's bring this kingdom here and we can transform its color. Let's make it, I think red kind of looks cool. But lower the brightness a bit. There we go. I want the wall to just be a higher access. I could, yeah, I could get rid of one of these walls. All right. My only regret is I wish I had more room on the left here to kind of build a port for it, but we can definitely make it small and assume. That being said, though, we're probably gonna scrape out some of this land. So let's scrape this part out. And then we're gonna add it kind of more right here. Oh, whoops. Are we not adding? Guess we're adding. Oh, the coloration might be. Alright guys, at some point we're going to have to name these mountains. So it's a good time to right now think about some mountain names, because that is what we are going to move on to next. There we go. Let's do that. Okay, we somewhat fixed this kingdom a bit, just to make it a bit bigger. But I'm more concerned about making the terrain right now. So, mountains. Now, in my experience, these ones have always looked the nicest out of all the assets when you put them in like a range. So I kind of like this style. Because there are other mountains we can kind of place that are like these. But they just don't really blend too well. Some of them, though, are pretty good, like, unique assets. So, like, this one as a unique asset is kind of nice. Yeah, we'll just stick with what we have. So we'll go with these ones. Let's make it a little grassier, though. There we go. Just a little bit. All right. Let's place a mound range, I think, right here. Could be nice. So, like that. Let's put the forest here, and then our idea is maybe we open up a passageway right here. Move this forest down here to make it look a little more dense. And then that could obviously be a location for a village as well. We need to decide on other mound ranges. So, where do we want to put the next one? We could put some by the coast. The coastline, rather. Maybe... some small... oh, oops. Some smaller ones right here could work. Something like that. I do want a couple of very big mountains, so we'll use the individual assets for those ones. Do you guys like big mounds with snow? Or... I think a snowy big mound might be the move. We could just... no, maybe not. Oh, we could put it over here. I'm very dumb. But we'll work on that later. That's the one downside of this app, is their mountains aren't exactly the greatest. Yeah, we can work with this. The only issue is it's very big. Shrink it down. Okay. We could place it here. I like a snow mountain, but we already have 2.5 snow areas. That is true. That is kind of my one issue. So I know we were talking about making this area a bit more rocky and desert. And if we were to do that... then we could kind of put a, like, more of a mountainy, like a stone mountain over here. Whoops, don't want to mess with the lake. Do you guys think placing a mountain here would be a nice idea, or do we keep it as like a valley, like kind of like a canyon? Actually, in my head, something like Zion could look really nice here. So I think we kind of keep it more... with the exception of Bloodbear Lake, that kind of stays. Let's do circle to smooth these out. Is there an asset for a destroyed house or two? There definitely is. If I do house, I can... yeah, they're right here. Abandoned. I don't know if there's others. No, it's just those ones. So we could definitely use these, and then we could just recolor them so they're not so ghosty. Where do you think they should be? That's kind of what they look like, and then I can kind of change the color around to make it look... there we go, kind of like a normal one. If we're gonna do this one though, it needs a lot more rocky cliffs. Maybe let's split Bloodbear Lake. Looks like a mountain where the river splits into an upside down Y. Like a mountain where the river splits. Okay, we'll check that out right now. What cliff asset do we use that we liked? So I could actually, might not have been this, but this might look cool. Alright, never mind. Mountain where the river splits. Do you mean up here? Let's try that. Let's do more of a stone one. So the size. Is there another one we could do? This one might look better. Are you thinking right here, Keith? What we could do is we can also use earthy terrain on Bloodbear Lake and keep the red, and again use it as that mineral deposit. So I'm very careful here and I don't mess it up. Yeah, right there. All right, cool. Okay, so I'm thinking, because we're already talking about that, like the red iron, or the red liquid is kind of more of like an iron deposit. Let's make this whole thing essentially kind of like quarry-like. All right. Do we need to change this color? Couldn't make it kind of like that. What we want to do next is place more cliffs, so we're going to grab these assets. We want to place it around the mountain. Okay. Let me get rid of this. Is there one that goes straight down? I don't think so. I would have to... I'm gonna make the mountain just a little bit smaller because my idea is to put a lot of elevation that goes up towards it. So like hypothetically, if I'm putting this here and I place another one, or almost another one, do we think that kind of... Let's make the mountain itself not. Timing test, about 37-second of delay. Oh, that's not fun. I think I might have had to increase the delay so the stream might be fixed and not lag so much. I'm not sure exactly. I can't quite diagnose what the problem is. I just know it's a problem with YouTube because I tested it on Twitch and that was working very, very well. But we'll have to see how it goes overall. All right, with this is very rocky and everything. So to reflect, do we have dwarven assets? We can kind of start populating it with a couple of buildings to make it look like there's some stonework. First of all, we could put refineries that are at the lake too. And so instead of making this a tourist attraction, what if we just make it kind of like a, almost like a resource factory, and some people could be fighting over it. So let's increase the or let's mess with the color so it matches. Oh, whoops, I'm changing the wrong color. There we go. Let's change the color to match the lake. Yeah, this could actually be kind of cool. How many refinery assets do we have? We have this one too. And then what we're going to say is that I know there's a mine asset somewhere. There it is. We're gonna say is people are digging into this mountain too. Let's place this little junction over here. We can make it significantly big too. Let's increase the size right here. Can we tilt it to the side a little bit like this so that lake is kind of right at the edge? Yeah, we could. Here's another asset. saturation. There we go. So this is both world building and map making at the same time. Also, welcome, Walnut Dan. Yes, it is. So as a community here, we are going to essentially make the maps, and then we could fill it with lore later with this note tool. So if I grab the notes when I click, then I can, you know, put blah, 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 and this is essentially our lore that we can put in. So we're essentially making like a D&D world. We've already kind of established some lore that we're going to do in these parts. So, as well as right here. So yeah, it's going to be open to both. Designing the map, and then as we design the map, we have ideas of like, oh, this would be really cool. So before we were kind of making this like a tourist attraction, but I think setting it up as a resource factory could work kind of really well. I don't know why it doesn't go over the... Oh, I gotta make the mountain at 4. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay, let's put this at 4. Which means this mountain has to go to 3. Okay, which means this can stay, and now I can finally place the factory. Once I'm able to grab it. There it is. Alright, we'll decrease its size. Put it right here. And then we could place like almost fortresses around the area as well. I'm just going to place a bunch of assets, and we could see which ones we like. And then place them where we want them. We obviously want to do the watchtower. We do have buildings that we can place around. So we can kind of have like a city right here almost, or a town. I realize there's green over here. I will fix that in a bit. I am now slightly regretting putting these mountains at layer 5. All right. Nice. I'm glad you like the idea. Come in and give us your thoughts on things. We are having a lot of fun doing this. We're not going to put a farm. This place is devoid of plant life. So, the only thing that's left is to place watchtowers, really. I know this says dwarven assets, like dwarven tower, dwarven. It does not have to be the dwarves that do this. It's just because of the stereotypical fantasy, dwarves are always like designed with more architecture that favors like stony terrain. Can I make it red? Whatever faction controls this area, we could definitely make it that they are using that resource as their technology. And so everything is colored red because it's using that as like a fuel source. So let's do that. That works. This one's a little too big. Smaller, put it right here. Maybe one of the factories recently blew up, but I don't know if you could put that on the map. We probably could with... Okay, so what I would do is... let me essentially grab this. And we could put it Right here could be a nice spot. And I think fire. There's some good assets for fire. It's also good assets for smoke. Let me grab this building, put it to layer 3. Grab the smoke. Fire, let's do layer 4. Let's move the factory. The only thing is, like, so a lot of times when I give people the map in my games, I tell them that this is like the actual map your character has. That they kind of either bought or were given or whatever it is. So it is kind of funny if we did that and this whoever designed this map in this world also drew the flames out here. Now, the only thing is I know what you mean is like putting like a crumbled factory. That we can't really do. That would be super cool. I think this is kind of the best we can get it. Let me all stamps like this. We're moving it to 3. That way the smoke, hopefully. Yep. There we go. Can have the smoke over. And that'll work. Put it like that. That could be our recently blown up factory. Should be kind of fun. Nope. The last thing is we want to place the capital. I think we place the capital probably right here. Well, we have 2 places to place it. We could place it right here above Cathead, or we could place it right here, but it's right next to this kingdom. So if we place it here, then I would say these kingdoms would have to have 2 really, mutually beneficial relationships. So perhaps they sell the minerals to them, the ore or whatever it is, and they pay them, so they get rich off that and their allies. Or we would have to place them here, because if they're enemies while they're here, they could just kind of attack the Dwarven city really quick. Or whichever race it is. I think over here might be the better. Alright. So let's put these buildings around it. We're going to change the color of this slightly. Come on, give me like a red. Can't get red on this, so we're just going to cut the color. Unless... Can we make it gold? Kind of. Alright. Grab more of these buildings here. I was asking more in the sense of would that even be on the map since it's a temporary thing. So it depends on how much work you want to do while you're running the game. Because one thing I did in one of my campaigns is I kind of had dynamic map building. So if the players hypothetically set fire to this forest, then I would go to the map and edit it to be kind of like burnt scorch area. So it'd kind of look more like this. And that way the players feel like they're actually affecting the world. It's a very fun thing. So This fire illustration could definitely be that, like, hey, this is recently attacked versus this destroyed building right here. We could alternatively make this the broken down warehouse. The only issue is I believe that is the only asset for like a destroyed building. I think abandoned is what they use. Maybe we use this one then. Yeah, this could definitely be a factor. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. So let's be careful here. Oh, dude. Let's grab this and lock it. That way we can grab this. Okay, let's grab that and lock it. There we go. Okay. Let's grab this warehouse. And let's change the color. None of these colors really work too much, so and we can just cut the saturation down probably. And then if we can put a destroyed port with it, that could kind of send a message. So we can put these abandoned ships. Actually, wait. I take that back. What about a wall city being run by Duke's family in the mining town? Sorry, let me read that again. What about wall city being run by a Duke's family in the mining town and run by a court, usually one royal title behind the Dutch? So the walled city. Oh, a count, not a court. Yeah, that could very well work. Like, the person who owns the mine is really the one in power because of its resource nodes. Like, the city's economy is built off the success of that deposit. So it's kind of one of those things that, like, there will be a leader in whoever controls this section, but they're kind of more of like a puppet. What if I do this one instead? This will work. Oh. Okay, so let's grab this. Let's change the coloration on it. And then we're going to put destroyed boats. If everything comes together, then it should look... ship. Okay, should look like this place was definitely attacked. So, very typical writing, but it always is good. Tropes are always good for a reason. We could definitely have it that there's some kind of resistance or rebellion that are native to this area, and so when whoever came in to take all the nodes took everything, they are kind of fighting back, and that's why we have these. So they could have destroyed this entire port and warehouse. And that could have actually brought the creation of all these watchtowers and fortresses around. There's a bit of more martial authority. So, this will be the destroyed port. All right. I see. So it's more like an abstracted view of the actual world, not something that someone in world would make. No. So they would make it, and that's why you can kind of like not have to draw it to scale in a sense. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go turn on my light. Here we go. Alright, so the reason I like to have someone in the map, like in the world, make the map is it leaves room for the DM to put any new location and say, hey, whoever made this map just didn't know about it. So like, for example, if I wanted to put a cave system here, or there's actually an island over here, I could do that and the players aren't like, oh, hey, the map didn't show like a cave there or an island there. It's like, hey, the map maker didn't know that place existed. So it allows you as a DM to kind of add stuff into the game as you do it too, and still be consistent. The Count being a lower prestige cousin line. So kind of like a way to really get themselves in power. Alright. Very quickly, let's just fix this. Alright, there we go. Now that that's dealt with, we can continue on. Okay. I think we've placed pretty much all the things you wanted to do as far as this area. The only other thing is the water. So I was thinking about how we have these red falls. We can have it all sourcing from this mountain if we really want. We're gonna have to also copy the light. Make it very small. I don't know if that'll look nice, but maybe. If we put these across. Do you guys like the idea of these mineral sourcing from this mountain? So there's little like rivers coming out of it. As a great Shad would ask, but what about the dragons? There will be dragons in this game. It's called Dungeons and Dragons. We are definitely going to have them. Make cat head smaller and put it here, so not to confuse it with this area. I'm actually not liking this Capitol building. I want to see if there's another one we could use. Let's just do building, see what we get. There are obviously a lot. Okay, we are definitely... I kind of like these fortresses too. It's very big. So if we shrink it... Can I change the color to red? If I can, then we will use these. Yes, I can. Cool. So, get rid of this. Let's put this here. We can still keep these ones. I'm not so sure about the red from the mountain. Yeah, I agree. It didn't reflect too well. We're just gonna take it out. Once I put it, I was like, I don't know if this really works too much. All right. Let's see if we can do this. Grab that. There we go. We'll delete this. I'm gonna grab this and place it here. So this isn't going to be really exactly kind of like a sovereign kingdom, as much as it is just a very, very wealthy town. So it's kind of almost like a Wild West area. As far as like the political scheme over here. Kind of like, hey, the Count is the person who owns the mines. He kind of owns all the buildings, the security. He has some kind of public figure that could just kind of be like the mayor, that kind of lives in the town, runs it, but he's really the one in power. I think it's from the source from the mountains. The mine would actually be further up, maybe. So the idea is that it's actually inside of the mountain. So they're going from the base and going up and down. That's kind of why we have this mine over here, at the very least. I could, if I put it up, because I put these hills, so if I put it up, I'm going to have to build, like, a way for them to also get there. So I think where we placed it here will work well. The only thing left I can think of is if we really want, we can grab this and make it darker. And then put it in the valley. And this gives us the terrain effect. And then, once again, just kind of the same thing with the water, right? Let's go to opacity 8 and make this a bit darker. And then opacity at like 0.5. Make this just a little darker. And there we go. Now we kind of have, oh, whoops. Kind of draw it a bit darker to show that there's not as much sunlight. Something I always find hard to do in world building is underwater races. Does this world have any? Because that can influence politics and sea travel a lot. It absolutely can. It is obviously impossible to kind of go under the water and build it there. Typically what you do is you build another map for the city and the underwater world. But you can definitely place them around pretty much anywhere you want, which is the really nice thing. And D&D has a lot of aquatic races. There's sea elves, tritons, grungs, locants, water genosies. Is that it? I think there might be more. But yeah, you can have a lot of like races that breathe underwater. And so I really like to place them in certain areas. I'll typically put like a whirlpool too. which they do have a bunch. Whirl. So there's one with a tower, which is kind of nice, but there are different ones too. I do kind of like, I've used this one previously, so I'm inclined to use this one to kind of try something new. I think this is the last one. But this one is very hard to do because it's very top down, which doesn't work as well as the others because they're kind of slanted. Now, I think for this one I could mess with the color to make it show not as much. No. I think both are good. This one is obviously definitely way more noticeable. This one has a larger area. I'll wait for you guys to tell me which one you like more. I think I'm good to at least very close to putting Dwarven. To putting an end to this area for now. For the most part, we can have the different things we want. The last thing we could do is kind of just put another town here, so there's not just one. Make use of this area. And then we'll just fix up the angles a bit. There we go. All right, this area feels pretty packed. The only thing left is to give names to it, which we'll kind of do naming all together at some point. If you guys have any ideas, that we could definitely. But let's move on to another place. So when we want to make a world, I like to just kind of go through the assets and also see like which ones look really, really cool. It's like, all right, like I would definitely like to place that one somewhere. It's a lot of desert regions, and I've done deserts a lot. So I'm gonna pass on the desert. There is sort of Eastern architecture. We kind of want to make China or Japan, like those kind of architectures or themes around. A little bit of an anime land. There are the human towns. We could place them around, kind of just filling the area with different towns. This is for small, very small maps. For towns, it's kind of the same thing. I do like to. I like to do specifically the Tudor, whatever it is. We'll find it right now. But perhaps we can make stuff look nice with these water mills, so we're going to place them now so we can grab them later. These farms, or rather market vendors. And wells. These can look nice. Okay, I think we have somewhat good ones, so... Here we go. Let's grab these ones. And if we essentially let's grab the watermill and like put it right here. Grab the farming markets and put in the center. As well as the well. This is always the one thing that takes a while in world building, is how much you want to draw to realistic scaling. Because obviously, like in the world, like this whole village area, if I wanted to put it to this detail, is kind of bigger than some areas. It's almost just as big as that. And that's the decision of, do you really want it to cover this much land, or do you want it to be infinitely smaller to like it only takes up this area that I have on the square, and then you put like a forest and stuff. But I do kind of want to upscale this world, because the idea is this is one continent of a much grand world. So we don't want to put too many areas that we have just a gajillion areas to have to think about. Sometimes less is more. This town looks very friendly. That is good. The idea is towns are always meant to look friendly. I've said it before, but I'll say it to the people that are new here. The map looks very blurry right now, but when you're finished with the map, you export it in like 8K or 4K, because right now it's at 2K. So it looks pretty blurry, but when you export it and zoom in, it will be very clear. And I can kind of show that with one of these maps right here. This is another map I made. And as you can see, it's huge, absolutely massive. But when I zoom in with the export, there's not any blurry details around here. Everything is very, very clear, which is really nice. So we can place things and they will look blurry, but once we're done with it, then we will be able to make it look really nice and really in detail. I usually just put a dot and a name, but I am lazy about these things. Name for the news town, Holga. That could work. Let's make it above. Let's change the color to just white. We can not have it curve as much. Let's just have it curve slightly. There we go. Set it right here. Let's do bold, and then I do kind of like the font it was already at. Yeah, let's do that one. All right, and here we have Holga, our first town that we've made. The only thing that looks blurry is YouTube compression. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that YouTube will also kind of compress it down a bit. If I zoom out, it's not as bad. But yeah, so something I have thought about too is real quick. We're just quick to build a second kingdom. Let's see, most of these castles. These are really nice castles. Okay. Let's place a second human kingdom. Or just another kingdom. Doesn't have to be human necessarily. That's just what the asset is, so it made me think of it. Let's place it maybe here. And as we've said before, that this area is kind of going to be our more wealthy side of the world. So this will be a very, very large kingdom. Let's do blue. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna place in the center here. And then we have to place the town. Or rather the city. So buildings. Let's go find some. It's kind of elven architecture. It's just not going to mix super well. These are nice. So let's do these. We're gonna lower the size. And so at first, because we could usually, the move is I just hold and drag and it can just auto place. But with cities, I like them to be different colors. So we're gonna hold and drag in certain segments. That's a bit too large. There we go. Hold and drag in certain segments. And then we're gonna change the color. And then drag again. Change color. It's actually not working the way I wanted it to. I think it has to be other buildings I use. Maybe these ones have better color change. Let's test it. Yeah, they do. Okay, we're gonna work with that then. Get rid of these ones. Alright. About yay big. Oh, and automatically changes the colors. Okay, these ones are actually the best. We could uniform it if we want. So, essentially, make them into like columns. Grab the castle, make it bigger than this. Once we put the castle in the center, everything around it. Do you guys like the kind of the row system, or would you prefer that I place it here and instead I have a more circle system? One is like rows, the other is circles. That was obviously very big. I think the circle might be more city-like. So let's do that. But let me know if you guys change your mind. I'm also down to do the rows. Regardless, I think we got to put this kind of more in the center here. City's more organic. Yeah, I think we can kind of do it right here. Kind of almost a mix of both. If we place it here, then we can kind of do like a curve, almost curved rows. And that might just be like the best of both worlds. Oh, whoops. And then over here we can kind of make like deviations every now and then. Kind of create a little smaller areas. The only thing we have to do here is change the terrain. Stone. Oh, there we go. Probably change the size. We can grab a section and turn it into like a park. We could set up bigger buildings that are kind of to act as like temples and stuff. Chapels, parliaments, stuff like that. I do like to place this as almost like the fortress guard. So we'll go ahead and grab this section, delete it. Let's add this as like parliaments connected to the castle in some way. Can we get that same blue? Maybe if we cut the saturation down. Yep. Let's put it right here, actually. So these guys are more chill with each other. They don't need big walls. Well, I do still plan to put walls in here. For this area. Because the idea is this is like a city. It's like its own kingdom. That's going to be for the very sort of more high-class nobility. So the next thing to do is to put those walls. And there are some walls we're going to have to curve. I believe, yeah, they already have these ones, but looking for more stone. We'll have to work with these. Okay, if I remember. Putting a watchtower is the solution. So, placing a watchtower where these things are meant to connect helps the design a lot. What about a forced barrier wall if they can afford it? I'm thinking about the castle having that. And the castle having no physical wall showing up, but it could be like a magical barrier. That could be kind of a cool idea. It helps kind of instill the notion that it is extremely, extremely well protected. Let's go back to these walls. We need to connect it here at some point. We're gonna have to place another one of these and blend it. There we go. These we drag away from the wall. Grab another watchtower. Make this smaller. Actually, we'll make it bigger, but we just make its axis smaller. There we go. I'll place it around here. And then actually grab this, copy, place. There we go. Actually, let's remove this. Just put another tower. 3 watchtowers overall. I wish they had walls with like a gate entrance. I could kind of grab one and maybe try to place it here. Let's see. Oh, yep. Okay, cool. So, if this is going to be the entrance right here, we're going to get rid of these houses that are in this area. I'm going to place them along the wall. Okay. So, there's kind of 2 things that kind of happen with art style. If you wanted to make a map and you wanted to serve a function, right? Then I would advise guys that like what you do is you just place this and you say this is a kingdom, right? And then, you know, you like essentially you're just grabbing the Capitol building itself. And you're using that as just a representation of like, hey, this is just a marker for the city, right? This is another kingdom. And then if you really, really want a detailed map, you can find like other maps people have made over cities, and you could use those to be like, hey, here's a descriptive city. So this is definitely more work than what's needed. I just do it because I think it looks nicer in the grand scheme of things when you kind of more draw out the kingdom itself on the map. However, it does take up a lot more space is the only thing. Because if I wanted to essentially now place a forest here, like for this one, I can very quickly draw it around here and that's easy. But for this, right, it takes up all the space. I have to go all the way out here. But it looks really, really nice. But don't be afraid if you guys are making your maps, if you just do it simple and quick, because you want to focus more on writing and the lore building. I do want to place this as kind of where the guards train, the barracks and everything. And the last thing we do is build a port. Docks. Don't quite like that. I mean, this could kind of be cool if we get the right asset for it. Can I flip this? No, it flips over here. I guess it doesn't go. Oh. Oh. Looks like OBS temporary disconnected. I don't know if I'm good. Northmost wall needs to be moved down a bit. Looks like it's disconnected. Yes. Actually, you are right now that I see that. Let's grab it and make it a bit bigger. Good catch, good catch. What we could easily do here is actually just add more terrain. And we'll use this to add, maybe even place a lake here. We'll see. The only thing is it's really annoying to change the water up. I could make it like a... Yeah, I could make it kind of almost like a Central Park design. Oops. Let's place these rather larger ones, but... Kind of do that as the lake or the little nice little park area. We really want to focus on detail. We could also place people. I doubt people are going to look that much into it. Stream's still fine. Okay, thank God. This is like, I only do, like, I'm just showing you what they look like. We're not going to keep them. But I do place these only for, like, maps where I'm making the city itself in detail. For world maps, it's not necessary. Okay. We wanted to do a dock. Can I flip this and it looks nice? There we go. Let's tilt it slightly, lower it. So let's place 2 docks. One that's going to be for more of the military. And the other one that can be for commerce. I really wanted to use these ones. It's just the angle on it is. Well, actually, let's play around with it. Maybe we can get it. Alright, let me copy this, paste it, flip it. Might not work. Yeah, no, never mind. Wishful thinking. I mean, we could keep that staircase. Kind of. I think the issue is the abandoned dock itself is very... The actual wood is very short. We would have to use these ones. And also recolor it. Let's reset it, just increase the saturation. Some of these are cool. It's just you have to build it at like the right angle. What if we get rid of this? Place this instead. Maybe then we can also change it. It's kind of more stone. Maybe. I think that might be better. But again, it has to deal with more of how big the map is that we're making, because obviously things are going to be a little more blurry. But we are at 700 changes, and I plan to do this till 5 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and save. And we are instead going to switch. Oh, Stephen Laneville, thank you for following. I appreciate it. All right. So the move is, I think we are going to try the Star Wars game. All right, so I got this saved. We will continue map building later tonight, around midnight Pacific time, which is usually like my prime time of streaming, hence the name Midnight Coffee. But for now, I'll take a pause on this. We've done some development. I like what we did. And for that, I will now close this. And I have never played Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2. I've just watched a lot of information on like Darth Revan. So I got interested and I bought it. So that is what this stream is going to turn into. So we're going to switch from a D&D stream to a gaming stream. If you guys would like to stay, I would appreciate it. But if you want to be here for the D&D content, then around midnight PST is when I will be back on it. For those of you that don't already know, I used 2 different pictures to kind of tell people what I'm streaming in a sense. Give me 1 second, I'm looking for the other one. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. Okay, this is the other one I use. So, if you guys see the knight, I'm doing gaming stuff. If you see the wizard, I am doing D&D stuff. So, wizard gone, knight up, and if you quickly jump into the stream and you see either one of those, you know kind of what's going on. So, in that case, I think we are good to go ahead and start this. I don't know how long I will be doing this. A good chance that I might just play it for like 20-30 minutes to kind of get it started, see where the game's at, make my character, and then probably end the stream, take a break until around 12 o'clock. That being said, for those of you that are new here, thank you for coming in. I hope you're enjoying it so far. Be sure to watch my videos if you're leaving. You might find some content you enjoy. That being said, let's go ahead and launch this, and then I also got to make sure that the sound works. I should also change the title. And that is very loud. Let's temporarily mute it until we fix it. I did not expect it to be that loud. Okay. In 6 to 7 hours for D&D stuff. Let's turn this sound pretty down. Okay, all right. I think the sound is good now. It was pretty loud. So give me 1 second. All right, we should be good now. The only thing is I realized that the graphics need to be changed. All right. The only issue is anytime I click on my stream, it automatically minimizes this. So I'm trying to crop it to get it right. Let's put the chat there. And then, there we go. And I think we should be good now. Perfect. All right, that works. I hate that it all tabs. That is actually pretty annoying. I'm just going to make the night a bit smaller. All right, pardon the intrusion, but we're done here. That is good. Let's turn that off. All right, have you guys played this game before? I have no idea if it's going to be... apparently, everybody loves it. But if we play it and it's somewhat boring, we can definitely switch to something else. All right. Choose your class. So, I don't know if you guys are... how much you guys know about Star Wars. I have almost no clue what these classes are. Jedi Consulars are masters of the Force and spend less time on combat training. Recommended for advanced players only. Jedi Sentinels are well balanced and possess many skills. Jedi Guardians are combat training, lightsaber mastery. Okay, so these are just male-female variants. So it's 3 classes. Consular, Sentinel, and Guardian. I think I do Sentinel. That sounds good. Let's do that. We have stat allocation. Okay. Custom character. You know, considering how old this game, this is actually not terrible models. This looks pretty Star Wars-esque. Follows the whole universe. Alright. Let's see. So, strength is just for melee damage. Range attack rolls. I am not going to use a blaster. Are you kidding me? I can get a lightsaber. Crazy. Alright. Willpower and... I think... it's up to charisma a bit. Oh, I have a lot of points. Okay. Does the point increase with each one? Yes, it does. Okay, let's take this to 15. I want to use the lightsabers a lot. Take that to 18. And then some health. Oh, we'll just put it. What should I just do? 12. 10. And then we can increase our decks. Nope. Alright. I don't know if this is good, guys. We're running with it. It sounds good. Skills. I don't want to use computers. I just want to smack them. Alright, let's do Persuade. We have some high charisma. Let's just do all Persuasion. I'm curious to see where it takes us. I have one left. We'll put it in Awareness. Okay. Feats. Alright. Cool. So I could take it to equipping medium armor. Screw that. An extra melee attack. I kind of like that. Oh, wait. Oh, these are ones I already have. Okay, got it. Oh my god. I love how much there is to choose at the start. It is, definitely overwhelming when you first do it. 2 weapon fighting. You guys think we should dual wield? Gearhead. Conditioning. Let's do this. Midnight. Yeah, I think we got everything.
Primary power offline. Hyperdrive off.
Oh. Well, that's a sign. Alright. Well, I guess if it crashed, then in that case, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream right here and take a break until later tonight where we continue the map building. So, anyone tuned in, have a good time. Take care, and I'll catch you guys.